Hey gang, welcome back to another episode of Talking eBay. Yes, I have not made a podcast in a while, and I do appreciate you tuning in and listening to me. So how's everything going? Yes, today is June 4th. Can you believe that? The summer is already cranking on and things are rocking and rolling. Now, if you haven't heard, I'm sure you have, that eBay is, of course, going to be in Las Vegas from August 12th to August 14th. Yes, that is happening. It's confirmed that if you're following eBay at all, you do know about this, and I am going. I did book it last couple of days. It has not sold out as of today. I don't know how many people are going, well, how many tickets they have, how many rooms. They don't really tell us anything. From what I understand, I got the inside scoop. I think a couple of thousand people, maybe that could be their max and their cap. The price is not bad. I believe it was $299 a person, but that includes, like I was telling you before, if you listen to my past podcast, it includes all the food. It includes breakfast, lunch, dinner. They give you, the last day, they give you a breakfast to go. A lunch to go. There's snacks, there's food, there's drinks, there's happy hour, there's parties, there's all kinds of stuff. You can't eat cheaper than that in Vegas. Vegas is very expensive now. It ain't like it used to be. It's very expensive. Sorry about that. It's not like it used to be. So things are crazy in Vegas. So that's a really, really good deal. So I'm trying to book a deal. The room rates are low. This is what they're saying. But honestly, I've found it really not the greatest deal. You can go online and book getaways with JetBlue and special vacation deals. If you're a AAA member, whatever, you can probably get some better deals out there. They're saying they're discounted with the, there's always a resort fee. It's at the Venetian. And Venetian is very expensive. It's a very expensive hotel. So I've been getting some rates. I still haven't booked the airfare in the hotel yet. I'm trying to get a better deal. I got a deal last week with the air and the hotel. I'm going in the 10th and I'm leaving the 15th. And I had air and hotel round trip, everything for like $1,700, which is a really good deal. But I checked it again. I let it go for like 3-4 days and maybe I'll get a better deal. Now it's back up to $2,100. I said, oh man, it's like, I'm so bumming. But that's my problem, not yours. I'm sure I'm going to get the deal. I'm going to get there. I'm not really worried about it. So how is your journey going on eBay? I hope you're doing well. I know I have not made a podcast in quite a while. So I hope you're doing well. Get out there, find some stuff. That's what we're going to do. So I have a couple of different things I wanted to talk to you about today on this podcast. A couple of things that eBay's doing very well. Not bad. I'm also starting to do Poshmark. I don't know why. I have a lot of people doing Poshmark, and I said, let me just start doing a little bit of Poshmark. Now, there's no fee. There's no cost to do it. You can do unlimited amount of items, things like that. And since I've listed the last maybe 20 or 25 items on there, I've had 5 or 6 sales already. I'm pretty stoked about that. A couple of them were offers, and I price things a little bit higher on there, so you have to negotiate. It's just very interesting. I'm doing really well. I just actually sold something right before I started this podcast tonight. Just a few minutes ago, I sold some fabric. Now, if you didn't know, and I'm sure if you are under a rock or something, if you didn't know about this, that unfortunately Jo-Ann Fabrics did close all their stores. So sad to see another store gone. I'm really, really upset about that. But I did go in the last couple of days and I bought a bunch of crap, as pickers do. We do buy and buy and buy. I couldn't resist 90% off plus an extra 50% off. It was just unbelievable. I come home with tons of yarn. I come home with tons of fabric, Kiss fabric and Star Wars fabric. Nobody was buying it. I don't know why. And I bought it all. I bought tons and tons of yarn, tons of not tons and tons, but a lot of fabric. And a lot of yarn. I already sold some yarn on Poshmark. Sold some yarn, and I just sold a piece of fabric on also on Poshmark. Nothing on eBay yet, which is kind of weird, but whatever. eBay is a funky kind of place, It's mostly more antiques and collectibles and things like that. And if I was on Etsy, I'm sure I could crush it. I don't do Etsy because Etsy, it costs per unit, per listing, and I'm not doing that. I'm not going to play that game right now. I'm very happy with the way things are going. So I bought a bunch of fabric. That's what I did. And sold some yarn already. I sold some fabric today. I sold some other things, some cool stuff. You can source anywhere. Now, I told you before in all my other podcasts, don't limit it to just TJ Maxx or Home Goods or yard sales. Pretty much everything goes, from closeouts to stores closing to yard sales to stuff free on the street when people put those Facebook ads, curb alert, whatever. Get out there, grab it, because you know how much you can find so many cool things out there on Facebook. I'm doing it every week. I'm putting out 4 or 5 bids. requesting if people have things available. If they're free, I go get them. And if they're reasonable, I'll do an image search with Google image search. I'm sure you're familiar with that. And you'd be surprised how you can find so many cool things for good money. I found some things that were worth about $100 on eBay. They were asking 40. I said, would you take 20? They said, no. I said, okay, how about 25? They said, no. Okay, let's go 30. And they did. So that's nice. So I'll sell for 100 easily. And they don't want to do the work. They don't want to do they don't want to do eBay, whatever it is. And that's fine. But the opportunity is for you. So definitely, keep your eyes open. I've got stuff in TJ Maxx the last 6 months. I've sold stuff on clearance, regular price even. Honestly, they had some Ray Spooner. They had some Ray. Now, this is the Bolo. This is be on the lookout for Ray Spooner shirts, brand new in TJ Maxx. I was shocked. $25, $35. I'm sold them for $60, $50, $70 each one of them. All gone. Done. They had jeans for skaters, skater jeans. I guess the skateboard jeans, special jeans. I looked them up and they found them out. They were $6. And I sold those for like $40. I mean, so you can get stuff in TJ Maxx, you can get stuff in Marshalls. There aren't too many more stores left. I'm not sure about JCPenney years ago. We really did, JCPenney did really, really well with that, but I'm not sure about today. They had a really good clearance back in the day. You could get items for $2 and $3, not so much today. So I don't know. You really have to go out and do the work and find out what's going on when you're looking around in stores. Now, this is yard sale season. You do know that, so get out there and hit the yard sales hard. Hit the clothing. Hit the if you're in the bins. If you have we don't have bins up here, but if you have bins in Goodwill, I walked into Goodwill last week. Last week Goodwill, it was discount day on Tuesday. Yep, last week. And I think at the end of the day, everything good is gone. This is what you say to yourself, right? Oh, everything good is gone. Well, I walked in there and I found 2 Anderson crank assembly sets, right? All the guts inside. And now anything Anderson is all premium, top quality. I looked online and they're selling for like $40 a piece. They were $2.99. I said, what? How can someone leave this here? $2.99, $40. I already sold one set for like $40 the other day. I got one more at home. I got 2 of those. How can you go wrong? They had a Howard Miller clock in there, like brand new. It was like an old, newer one, like 70s, early 80s, but metal tin, $3. I mean, that's a $50 clock all day. So I'm shocked that anything was even left, but not everybody knows everything. And that's the thing you have to understand when you're going outsourcing. You can't be an expert at everything, but you certainly can look up a lot of things. And what happens, you should start using your intuition. You see something that looks different. You see something brand new in a package. You see something that's a high-end brand name like Anderson Windows, or if you see something from General Motors, or if you see something from Honda, anything that's car-related like that, always grab that stuff. It's always worth a lot of money. Now, I've been pretty well. I'm going to go over some of my sales. I hope your sales are doing well. I want you to get out there and don't get frustrated. eBay has been slow. Yes, it's been very slow for me. The last couple of weeks is slow. Actually, last month was really one of my lowest months I had in a long time. So what does that mean? I don't know. I mean, the economy's kind of in a flux right now. What's going on with the tariffs, up and down tariffs? I don't know. Every minute's a new thing. I don't know. And people get nervous, right? People are pulling back. People aren't advertising. People aren't spending money. People aren't posting a lot or selling things, whatever it is. People are kind of like all over the place and nervous. So maybe eBay is kind of like that buyer is like really nervous or not buying stuff. I've noticed in the last week or so, it has picked up a little bit. So that's kind of good. So I got a few more sales. And now I'm expanding to Poshmark. And the reason why I did Poshmark is I really want to try something a little different and just to get these like items that we got. And what really motivated me was really the fabric and the yarn and things like that, and clothing, new clothing and some collectibles and all kinds of things like that. So there's always kinds of options out there to try out, and you just never know. And eBay is really going to be good this year. So if you can get a chance to get out there this year, there are tickets still available. You still can sign up. So go ahead, check it out. I think just Google. Let me just tell you what it is. Let me crank it up right here. Google says, just Google eBay Open Las Vegas 2025. It'll come up under registration. Go to the registration page and click on register. So all you got to do is put your name in, username, user password, all that kind of stuff. I'll set yourself up. I think it's $2.99. Like I said, I believe it was $2.99 a person. And honestly, it's a really great deal. But you got to get to Vegas on top of it, and you got to get the room. So by the time you get done, for 2 people, you're probably looking around $2,000 roughly, $2,400 roughly. Now, a lot of people don't have that kind of money, and I get that. But if you have the money and you have the budget, it might be worth it for you, especially if you're newer, to get to Vegas and really experience eBay in its full factor. See, eBay back in the day was really so powerful and so important that everybody went to eBay, or eBay Live, and eBay, it was called eBay Live back in the day, and that sold out in a couple of hours, like maybe a day. Back in the day, it really sold out really quickly. I remember one time it was $69 and $99, and people just scoffing them up. And it was really, really good. It was motivating, inspiring, educating, everything. They gave you a lot of information. Now, back in the day, yes, they did bring in special people. Like I saw Joan Rivers. She was a special person. John Damon. A lot of different people came in over time and spoke about their books and talked about different things and all that kind of stuff. So, things have changed quite a bit since then. They don't really bring anybody in anymore. They really just do bring their own people in. So basically what you see online, when you see those live, online Zoom or whatever they're doing the last couple of years online, it's kind of like that in person, but more they have panels, discussions, you can ask questions. It's more one-on-one. You can grab one of the eBay employees, you can talk to a supervisor, you can talk to one of the CEOs. It might be that you never know who's going to be there, honestly. This is the big 30th anniversary, just to let you know and be clear. The 30th anniversary, I think it's going to be special this year because it's the 30th anniversary. It's going to be a little bit bigger, a little bit more of a pump, a little bit more, maybe a special band they could bring in. One time they brought in Kool and the Gang. One time there's just so many different, what time was Bad Naked Ladies was there one time. Just so many people over the years. You just never know who they're going to bring in. So that's kind of cool. So get motivated, get excited. If you want it, if you're going to go, please, I think you should register soon because it could sell out who knows when. And when it does, then you're going to say, I wish I registered. So that's what I did. I registered for it, and then I'll get the flight, and I'll figure that stuff out. I hope I don't pay a fortune, but it is what it is. So how's your eBay journey going so far? I hope it's doing well. You have the summer to look forward to. The rest of the season, second, third, fourth quarter is coming up. Right? We're in the third quarter now? No, second quarter now. And we'll be rolling into the third quarter shortly, believe it or not. September, October is the third quarter, then right into the fourth quarter, boom, boom. It goes fast, guys. It's already, half the year's almost gone. This is June. Hello, July 4th is coming up, and you know how that goes. It's after July 4th, as far as I'm concerned, summer's like almost half over. It's such a bummer. But listen, let's be positive. Get out there, find some stuff, do the research, and get it listed. Number one, get it listed, get it listed. My job here is to motivate you, educate you, and inform you to get it listed. That's the job for me. I haven't made a podcast in a while, so let's go over some of my sales. And I have a bummer situation with me. I got a negative last week. I got a neutral. I was bumming. I said, what did I do? I'm so precise with my stuff. I'm so careful. I was like, what did I do wrong? It's like, And I listed this, it's a CD. I thought it was a cassette, oldies, like oldie cassettes on the box set with the cassette, like three cassettes with the information. And it was like a box set. Back in the day, they had those movie box sets, audio box sets. And so I listed it as an audio. I sold it, and the guys gave me he didn't even contact me or anything. He just gave me a neutral and said, unfortunately, it's not a cassette, and which I did market it as a cassette. It was a CD. My bad. The photos show it says CD on the damn thing, so my bad. I deserve it. I'm going to eat that. I'm going to own it, and I'm going to take it as, slow down, take your time, and watch what you're doing. That's something that I do wrong all the time. I kind of rush it. I'm kind of like in a rush, get it done quickly, get the listing done, take the photos, and not pay attention to what it is detailed, and I got to do that. So... And that's my flaw. Listen, I'm not perfect. I've been doing this, like I said, for a long, long time, and over 25 years. And it is what it is. And you just have to take your time. And that was on me. And I'm gonna eat that, and I'll sit there for the year, and I'll just comment on it. I'll make a comment, say, so sorry, my bad. If you want to return it, please go ahead and do that with a full refund. I don't want anybody to be upset and be unhappy with their products. That's my fault, my bad. So if it's on me, if I did something wrong, I should be responsible for it. So that's what happened to me. That's kind of a bummer, but I had some good sales. Let's go over some of my sales. I had, let me see. Paid and shipped. I'll give you some of my items that I sold this week, and I hope you're doing well. Found an old vintage skeleton key. Skeleton keys do really well, guys. So if you have an old skeleton key, grab it. They're between $14, $12, $18 for an old skeleton key. Depending if it's, make sure it's either brass or it's cast iron or metal. Just got to be very specific, be very clear what it is. Been selling some old CDs. I remember how I got a whole lot of CDs. I've been selling some CDs. I'm telling you about those skateboard jeans. Yes, Dickies men's skateboarding jeans. That's what I've been selling. They've been selling very, very well. Selling them for $30 with shipping. Not bad at all. Again, that Anderson split arm operation, that's what I told you about. That sold for $40 with shipping. I sold an old vintage marine radio. Jeez, I think I got it at a yard sale somewhere for like $5. I forget. Maybe it was a Savers. I don't know. Not a lot of money. It's been around for a couple of years, unfortunately, but I did get $54 with shipping. A shoehorn. Listen to a shoehorn. If you got an old shoehorn, listen, this one was from Italy. It's an old shoehorn. Got $43. Went international. Guess where it went to? Yeah, you got it. It went to Italy because it was made in Italy. Zach and Zoe sold us some dog clothes, some used Victoria's Secret Capri sweatpants that had a hole in it. Got $22 with that with shipping. I was very clear. Showed the hole. No problem with that. Sold some cameras. Sold the vintage watch that I got at a church bazaar. Now they had the church bazaar. They had a box of watches. Again, this was the end of this. They had this big sale. And at the big sale, they said, at the end of the sale, they have a bunch of stuff. These are all $1. Some don't work, some are broken, whatever. So I just grabbed 5 or 6 different 8 watches. I grabbed them. And there was a cool vintage Timex watch, genuine red with the red band. And it worked, and it was mechanical, and it worked awesome. I sold that for $60 with shipping, okay? I didn't have to fix it, nothing. It just worked. They just didn't care. I don't know. Oh, man, it just goes on and on. I picked up, this is the one that I picked up in the trash. Here's a trash story, guys, okay? I picked up a Zuka. If you don't know what that is, it's a baseball pitching machine. So I'm driving home from my daughter's house, and I said, what is that thing out there? It's huge. What is that thing? I said, I'm going to grab that, throw it in the back of my car, throw it in the back of my SUV, do the research. They're throwing it in the trash. They didn't care. Took it back home. And found out, did the research, because it's big and big. So for free, I'd take anything. I'd give it a shot. I've got water skis, all kinds of stuff, crazy stuff, right? So it's a baseball pitching machine. They go for $1,000 brand new. Just the machine. Then they have the tripod that holds it up, like a little tripod that holds it up. That's like $400. So they're expensive, but they're designed for like if you're baseball training and things like that. But it didn't work. I couldn't get it to work. I tried to repair it. I ordered some, I did buy some piston rings and I tried to fix it and I just couldn't get it to work. So I was into it for $30 anyway because I bought the kit of rings, the gasket kit, and couldn't get it to work. Didn't come with the charger, but the battery was already fully charged. So I was testing it, but I just couldn't get it to function. So I sold it as is, broken, for $279.97 with shipping. It did cost me $70 to ship it because I didn't realize it was going to, I think I went to Washington State. Now, I always calculate everything for California, but Washington State was an extra $20 more, and I didn't figure that out because I said, my wife was yelling at me, well, you didn't charge enough shipping. You didn't charge enough shipping. I said, I did. I measured it. I got the box. I got the whole thing, and we're going back and forth. We're kind of having a little fight about it. I said, listen, I do the shipping. I make sure I got the box. I put the weight in. I put the size in. I don't screw it up. You tell me to put California in. I put California in. Well, Washington State's more money. I didn't know. How do I know that? I didn't know. She didn't know. So I said, you owe me an apology. And she did. And because I did it right, but she goes, well, for now on, put in Washington State. I said, you can't put in everything in the Washington State because, we do a flat fee shipping. And what if someone down the street buys it? It's not fair for them to pay $80. So it's really that kind of thing that sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Still, I got $279 for something free. Now, also, there's a base also that came with that. That base also sells for $99 that is listed separately for free, guys. So don't leave stuff in the trash, okay? Picked up a lot of vintage clocks. I picked up a lot of those. Lady had 10, I don't know if I told you this or not, 21 vintage clocks. Her husband must have passed away. She wanted $150. I offered her $50. She says, sure. So I had to drive down, a little bit of a drive, pick them up. A lot of them were good. Some of them were okay, but they're worth about maybe a couple $1,000. Some of them were good. I sold one for $75, one for $90. So they are selling, they're going through. So that's really, really cool. Sold the VHS tape. Again, media sells. VHS tape sealed. Sold that for $114. Vintage Paymaster ribbons. Those old-fashioned check machine things. Like they weigh like a boat iron, like a boat. They're like huge. Got $63 with shipping. Another clock, $102 with shipping. Again, from that same lot. So I can go on and on and on. Dunkin' Donuts hats. You name it. I pick up everything over time. Another clock for $71. So you can see another clock here was $58. I'm looking at all these sales. So I definitely made my money back on that. No problem with that. So that's what I've been selling. It's been really good. Old Panasonic VCR. That was the one I picked up at Goodwill for $1. Didn't have a remote control or a power cord. So they just listed it for $1 or $2. I think maybe it was $2. And they didn't know if it worked. So they just put it out there I figure for $2, if I could just throw it away, I don't care. Even parts and repair, you can sell it. Sold that for $91 with shipping. So you can see there's a ton of money out there to be made. Also picked up a Sesame Street General Store pocket watch. Sold that for $61 with shipping. And on and on and on. Another clock I saw. This is actually another nice New Haven. It was a green metal 1937 that worked really well. Got $101 for that. So you can see stuff sells constantly. So it's really been really good. I'm super excited about the Joann fabrics. You never know what thing you start and it continues to grow with you. You just don't know. I've had this story happen to me many times. I could buy this fabric and yarn, and before you know it, I'm buying fabric and yarn wholesale by the freaking truckloads, all right? This is ridiculous. This is what happens to me sometimes. I say, oh, this is really good. Oh, I'll buy bolts and bolts of yarn. This is like, what am I doing? If I'm buying cases and cases of yarn and bolts of fabric, it's like, before you know it, the house is full of stuff, and it's like, you've got to move the stuff. So you've got to go slow. You've got to be careful. Don't overbuy. Don't overspend. Do the research. I have a little bit more experience, so I'll buy some stuff. I'll spend some money. I think I got a ton of yarn, and I got some fabric, not a ton of fabric, but quite a bit of fabric. I think I paid all together maybe $350 for all that stuff. Normally it's $1,000 retail. Now, some of the stuff is discontinued. That's where the magic is. So the discontinued stuff, people will pay a premium for. I got the all licensed Kiss. I got licensed Star Wars. I got licensed all that kind of stuff, right? And they're selling because you can't get it anymore. The stuff is old. It was sitting in the discontinued bin in Joann Fabrics. It was like $1.50 a yard. Then it was like 90% off. I was paying like 20 cents a yard, like ridiculous, right? And that's where you can make your money. So it's so much opportunity out there. Don't be afraid to try it. Don't be afraid to pick up stuff. Trash, it doesn't matter. I give you all examples what to do when it comes to eBay. Don't leave things out. If you have something in your house that you want to throw away, look it up first. You just never know. One time I got a big gift in the mail from a big company, I can't say who, and in this gift was a big acrylic dome, and inside the dome was a bunch of things in it. So I was going to throw this box away. I said, well, this acrylic is very expensive. And it's a dome. I was like, this is really cool. It was like a 15 inches, 18 inches base. It was pretty good size. It was maybe 20 inches. It was big. I said, let me just check online, see what it's worth. I sold it for $200 because it's expensive. Acrylic is expensive. I think someone even use it for a garden. I don't know. I don't care. The thing is, everything has value. Just about everything has value. Even the cheap junky stuff. My granddaughter, listen to this one. Oh my God. She's like, she's in that age that she loves McDonald's and she likes Happy Meals, right? Now they just had this crazy thing with the, let me get one. 1 second. Hold on. 1 second. Sorry about that. Let me grab one here. I have it right here. I just listed it. Minecraft, right? There's the big thing with the Minecraft. Now she had gotten a bunch of them. She keeps getting the Happy Meal because she likes the hamburger. That's the only thing she really eats. And she keeps giving me these. I don't want this one. I already have it. And she gives it to me in the box. You know how many things I've sold of these things? I've sold like 10 of these. $6-8 a piece. So what? It's free. What do I care? I'll take it. Why not? All day. She keeps giving them to me. I keep selling them. They had the before that was Pokemon. Sold that. So again, this is all junky stuff, toys, but you know what? $5-6 here, $5-6 plus shipping. Don't forget. So I'm selling these things for $12 and $13 to $14, not just $6, right? Another thing I'm going to start doing, and I don't know if I'm out of my mind or not, but baseball cards. I mean, I don't know. We picked up some baseball cards. We're going to give it a shot. We're going to see how that works. We're going to experiment with that. So listen to the future podcast. I'll let you know if it's going to be any good or not. I don't know. I've been doing some research. A lot of them sell for $1, $1.50. They do have a special rate for baseball cards, eBay. I think it's 60 cents for 1 ounce, 59 cents. So that's the shipping cost, which is up to $50 insurance, which is really, really good. But you have to just make sure there's a little bit of money left over for yourself. Now, this is not a big money grab. This is definitely a small money grab. If you got them graded, you can get more money, but you have to grade them, which costs money. So is that a wash? I don't know. I've seen the same card that would sell for $1. Now, if I send it away to be graded, it's worth $20. So how much does it cost to grade the card? I think a lot of these people who grade cards, they have accounts and they get special deals when they do bulk. So maybe that's another option. You just never know where something's going to go. Before you know it, I have a warehouse full of fabric and I'm selling baseball cards by the truckload. I don't know what's going to happen. That's what's cool about eBay. You don't know where it's going to go, right? That's the cool part of it. You just say, I'm going to start this one thing, and before you know it, you're doing something. It's crazy. So I got these baseball cards. I probably got maybe 1,000 cards over there. I got to look at them. And so if I sell them all for $1 each, that's $1,000. I paid like $10 for the 1,000. So that's not bad, but I'm trying to get on the shipping, and maybe I'll make $250. The investment wasn't a lot of money, $300 after shipping and fees, but it's a lot of work. There's special machines that you do have to purchase for these things, special scanners to make them quick. The research takes a little bit of fatigue. You got to put them in alphabetical order. There's a little bit of work in the back end of it. We'll see what happens. This is going to be my wife's project. She says, you should try these. I said, well, I'm going to try them, but you're going to get stuck listing them because this is a lot of work, and I'm not going to do that myself, I told her. So just stay tuned to this podcast. We're going to get together with my wife. I don't know if I told you in the past, we worked together, been working together for pretty much our whole adult married life, and we are always together all the time, and we always source together, we work together, and we're always together, and that's going to be a whole special show just by itself. So stay tuned to that. I think we're going to have that. I'm not sure when. She's always very, very busy. I'm trying to get her behind the microphone, and she's just always busy. Also, we're trying to get some other guests. I'm trying to get my daughter in here to do a guest, guest. What do you call that when someone comes in? A guest host or whatever, and talk to her about growing up entrepreneur. It's like a TV show, Growing Up Entrepreneur on CBS. No, but you never know, right? I like to talk and have her have a conversation. What was it like for her? She's going to be, she's older. I have a granddaughter, and how was it for her growing up with entrepreneurial parents? It's different. She thinks differently. She came home with the Beanie Babies one day. She goes, look at these. These are really cool. All the kids like these. I said, what are these junky things? What are you buying? Get rid of these things. You don't need all these Garcia bears. What are you doing? What are these Princess bears? Get rid of these things. Because her grandmother was buying them all for her. And this is before the trend went crazy. I said, what is all this? And before you know it, we were buying tons of these things because I learned quickly that $6 turns into 60 pretty quickly with these Beanie Babies back in the day. So we were making tens of thousands of dollars back in the day flipping Beanie Babies. That's when Pokemon first started coming out, and then the Charizards. Remember that? And I had the original Charizards. I was selling for $20, $25. I was opening up packs of these things and selling the Charizards for $25. They're now selling for like, I don't know, $500,000. I don't even know anymore. I'm so depressed. I don't even want to talk about that. Who knows? The Beanie Babies, that was good. We made a lot of money. I never kept them. I'm not a collector of those things. I just got them and I sold them or flipped them right out. Made a lot of contacts with Hallmark stores. That's what you did. And then had to kind of split the difference with them. That's what we did. So that's how you do it. That's just capitalism. That's the way it goes. They really couldn't do it because they were running a business. I could do it because I could go out and I could go do shows and different things. So they would give me all their inventory. And then I would go out and give them all the cash. That's just the way it worked. If I came back with $10,000, they got $5,000, and it probably cost them maybe $200 in Beanie Babies. I don't know. Back then, whatever they were, wholesale. They were charging us $6. They were probably paying $3. You do the math. So that's kind of how that went. So there's always an opportunity growing up as an entrepreneurial child. So that would be a very cool show. I think that would be very interesting to do. What do you guys think? I think that'd be really, really cool. I think that would really be awesome. Also, husband and wife working together, right? Entrepreneurial husbands and wives working together. That's going to be a good show. So we have a lot of different things coming up. Hopefully we'll get those shows in the bag and online and just educate you, motivate you, and of course, most importantly, inspire you to continue doing eBay. So that's what I have. I just want to make it too long. I just want to give you some information about eBay, what's been going on with me and the Bolos. I hope you're doing well. Have a great, great summer. I'm going to try to do more podcasts, but it's been so busy. I've been listing every day and busy. I got so many cool things coming in all the time. And I just love, the best part for me is sourcing and also educating myself about what things are worth. To me, that's really all the fun for me, honestly. I love doing that and then selling it. It's exciting. You can find stuff for a few dollars and sell it for a few hundred. That's always exciting. You find electronics. And of course, you get little boops and beeps like I had this neutral, I was really depressed about because I haven't had a neutral in a long time. I was 100% forever. I'm still 100% because they don't really count neutrals against you. But I don't like to see that. But I'll leave a comment saying that my bad. And it was on me, and I apologize, which it is. That's on me. Listen, when it's their fault, you know me. If you listen to my other podcast, I'll get right to your face, and I'll say it. You're trying to screw me, and it ain't going to happen. But if I make a mistake, I'll own it. I might even just give them a full refund and just say, I'm so sorry. And that's it. What else can I do? It's really my fault. That's all there is to it. So that's what I have. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Don't forget, check out eBay Open Las Vegas 2025. Go ahead and Google that. And if you're not registered and if you want to go ahead and register. I think you'll find it very informative. If you're new, I think you'll find it extremely educating. I think you'll find it extremely motivating, and you'll find a lot of friends and people, because people at eBay are not like other business people. They want to talk. Everybody wants to talk. Where you get your stuff? What do you do? And I think the standard answer is going to be, and this is what the answer is for me, we sell a little bit of everything, right? That's what you kind of say. You don't want to tell them your sources. You don't want to tell them where you're getting your stuff. But also you want to kind of brag a little bit at the same time. So you're kind of in this little crunch of what do I do? It's like, oh, well, I tell you where I got my stuff because I don't care, because there's so much stuff out there that if you find it and you sell it, so what? As long as you sell it correctly, because if you sell it for less, you're just going to sell it quick and you're going to make less money. If you sell it correctly, you'll make the right money. And you got the information from me, or hopefully somebody like me, to give you the right directions to make the right decisions when you're selling things. And I really think that's the way to go. I think that's fantastic. I deal with this girl who I know very well. She's doing really, really well. She's killing it on Poshmark. She's killing it on eBay. She's doing a fantastic job. Super excited for her. I want to make a shout out for her. She's awesome. Annette, you're awesome. Keep up the good work. She is fantastic. Really good friend of mine. And just really good motivation. And I always told her, start eBay. Now she's doing Posh. Now she's doing more than me. She's doing Whatnot. She's doing all these different things. There's so many platforms out there. And, we'll see what happens. Also eBay has an eBay Live app as well. You can do live streaming on their app. I don't know why they haven't made it for everybody yet. It's been years and years. They're very slow. I think my pet peeve, I'm sorry to keep going about this, my pet peeve is eBay is so slow when it comes to technology. You still can't upload a video from your phone. It's stupid. You got to put it on the desktop. You can't do it eBay Live. You have to get invited. I mean, come on, guys. This is 2025 already. When are you going to get with it? Please, get with it. This is what's happening today. Whatnot does live. I mean, Poshmark does live. I can do live right now on Poshmark. I'm not even that big on there. I can do Poshmark live. All these different things. There's so many platforms. TikTok you can do live. YouTube you can do live. Anything you can do live. And eBay's sleeping. So come on, guys, wake up. Let's go. Get your marketing team together. People need this. This is kind of maybe why you're lacking a little bit in business and you're lacking with the community, because you're not really keeping up with technology. So let's get going. Get the right teams together and get this built correctly. This is not rocket science, guys. You can use AI and build the back end of this in no time. You can get it going. Come on, I see your lives. They're good, but the app is really, really glitchy. So I'm not going to keep going on with that. I'm not going to keep pounding eBay. eBay's still good for the community. They still do a great job for us, and I really do appreciate them. I just wish they would just do a bit more to keep things going with technology. All right, guys, that's what I have. Appreciate it as always. Don't forget to follow, like, and share. Don't forget the YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel. Don't forget about that. Talking eBay on YouTube. Go ahead and check that out. I forgot to mention that. Sorry about that. Check that out. And this will be on there as well. This podcast also on Spotify and all that stuff. So follow, like, share, whatever you got to do. Make it happen. Helps me, help promote me, help me keep me going out there in the algorithm. It really means a lot to me. And I hope I brought you some value, educate, motivate, and most importantly, inspire you to continue doing your journey with eBay and reselling. And that's what it's all about. All right, guys, till the next time, thanks for listening.